Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the trees at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you in it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
It's the holiday season, and there's no better time to jump into the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Whether you're betting the NFL, getting in on the college football playoff matchups, or checking out the NBA's Christmas slate, FanDuel's got a holiday promos and boosts that'll keep every game exciting all month long. From same-game parlays to player props and live in-game betting, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action with fast payouts and an app that's smoother than a Gardner Minshew sidearm throw. And don't forget, every Friday on Chief Concerns, we drop our best 5-leg same-game parlay for the weekend, plus JD's 10 keys to victory, breaking down exactly how the Chiefs can continue to find wins with the remaining games left. So, while you're unwrapping gifts and watching wall-to-wall football, make sure you download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and make every snap, shot, and score count this holiday season. Attention all sports bettors. Big news, Chiefs Kingdom. Sports betting is finally going live in Missouri on December 1st. So we've partnered with bookies.com to bring you all the best sportsbook promos and sign-up offers in one place. Head over to bookies.com/chiefconcerns. The link is in the description below to check out all the offers from the top sports books in your area and pre-register today. You can lock in those bonuses now, even before betting officially starts on December 1st. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns, Monday morning tight end on your Monday evening with our guy, former Chiefs tight end, Jason Dunn. JD, how we doing, brother?
What's going down? Marcus, how you doing, my brother? You doing all right?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
Long weekend for you.
Long weekend, yeah, for all of us to enjoy. I hope everyone enjoyed holidays with the family. If any family came into town, friends, if any friends you celebrated with. But, yeah, it was a long weekend for all of us. I know, like, it feels like that game was an eternity ago, JD.
Oh, yeah. It sure does. You know, and it was good. Let's get a little break in. You know, get to see some other teams play.
Yes,
you know, a little boring. I think sometimes he, at least during this time, had a little bit of things set, kind of set in a little bit, right? That, man, next week's going to be the last game of the season. And
I know.
This is going to be what it is. It's kind of new for us. It's new little territory for us, Marcus, since the inception of this show.
Yeah.
This will be the first time that we haven't had a playoff, game and shows and all those different things. So this is new territory for us too, man. So
for our fans, for us, yeah, it's definitely a new territory. And I wanted to kind of pay homage to two things that we've kind of talked about before on this show, but with this team, like if you have a kid who was born in 2018, all they know is Chiefs winning the AFC West. That's all they know. But for a while there, when I was 10 years old, I remember getting this men's long sleeve T-shirt. And JD, this is your squad right here. This is 2003, and we didn't get another AFC West title till like 2010 or 2011. So like back then, like getting one of these was like a rarity to have, and like now, like I'm sure everybody's got shirts from 2018 to now of all these AFC West Chiefs merchandise, the champions. I mean, like, and back then this is few and far between. You only find some of these things like very seldomly. So yeah, like I think people just need to really understand what we have going right now over the last decade, and so we don't take it for granted because that's why this last decade's been kind of unreal. And as a former player, like you can attest, it's like it's not easy to get these things. Man, the Super Bowl is one thing, but winning AFC West titles another thing too. So like, ain't easy.
Come on, brother. Listen, for me, I understand how hard it is. A lot of guys understand how hard it is. and it's eluded a lot of us for a number of years, a number of guys. And so only a special few have been able to achieve going to ASC or NFC championship games and then going to the Super Bowl and then actually winning it. And so those are the things that when you look at it and you talk about what this, like you said, this run means and how does it look, man, this is, like I said, this is unprecedented. And we don't quite understand, or at least the people who are just kind of coming to the party, Johnny come latelys, coming to the party. This is true. To y'all think this is just normal. This should happen all the time. And so when the Chiefs has a down year, they're ready to throw in the towel, put them up, and geez, what? Hey, man, shoot, it's hard. It is hard to stay on top. So I don't think people quite understand that, man. And that, I guess is, perspective is everything, right? So
it really is. And it's like one of those years, like, it's a down year. And I'm seeing Pono was talking about, how it's a rough year. And hopefully the Johnny come latelys, hopefully not a lot of those have left the building. Because I'll say this, one thing, like, is people want to always compare Brady and Mahomes. And like this is a down year for the Chiefs and Mahomes. But we have an opportunity this year. And I know you talk about it's not just a draft. There's a lot of things that they can play into it, free agency and all of that. But one thing that we haven't had since Eric Fisher, we were picked in the top 10, right now we are currently the 9th pick overall. Based on the possibilities next weekend, we have potentially to go up to number 8. And worst case, we're number 13. So either way, you and I never imagined, and I know a lot of our fans never imagined, that we would be picking the top 13 while we had Patrick Mahomes on our team. So with that being said, this is a luxury we have this year to be like, you know what? Go in, hone in on this draft, find the best blue chipper you can get. If you want to trade up to get another guy, go for it. Do what you got to do. But we have something that, the Patriots never got when they had Brady. They never had a top 13 pick. But hey, we get the one this time, and we could actually see what we can do. And I think Spags made a comment about it in a press conference today, I believe, or last week. But he said, quote, I can remember going to a number of these combines recently where I knew very little about the guys that we were sitting and talking to. Now you have a little bit of an idea. And that tells you a lot about it because we go to February every year. Now these guys actually have time to do some research and some recon on these guys. That's huge.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that being said, they're going to be doing an evaluation, but the scouts been doing an evaluation all season in college ball. I mean, that's why you have, the whole organization. That's what you do. You employ scouts to do all that work, all the footwork, and all the leg work, going to the places, talking to the kids, talking to the coaches. This is how this looks. And so they'll get all the information. But then, of course, like Spags and them will see who they think is going to work in their system. But see, we're only talking about maybe this, obviously, first round pick, like you said, 9th or maybe 13th. The question is, and who do you get? What is the need? And so do you touch on that? You're saying what is your most pressing need right now? And so what I did, I looked over some of the defensive tackles, the defensive ends in coming out of college, the top ones. It wasn't like this past year. I'll tell you that. That's for daggone sure. So
especially defensive tackles. Defensive tackles last year's draft class were awesome.
All over the place. Yeah. And defensive ends too. I'm looking at some defensive ends. I'm just like, I don't know. So you just don't quite know what's going to translate over to the NFL. That's the question. And so that's why sometimes having these evaluations could be a gamble. But you got to, if you up there high like that, you got to make it. You got to make a good splash, which you're going to get. So
for sure. I mean, that's the thing too. Like the beauty about we'll know what our game plan is going into the draft based on what we do for the free agency and the initial wave of free agency in the offseason. And I know people were like, so I put a mock on our Twitter account today, just having fun with it. I didn't draft a running back, and I got a lot of flack for that, JD, because in my tweet I said I imagine us going to get a veteran running back. One of the guys, it's a great free agency class as far as running backs wise. I mean, just off the top of my head, I have Tyler Algier, Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall, Rico Dowdle. Those are all the free agents running backs that are going to be there. And I'm curious what you think, because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, go draft Jeremiah Love, forget about it." It's like that's the guy you get. It's like, no, that's not who you do. At least in my opinion. But with Mahomes potentially let's say Mahomes doesn't play week 1, right? And it is maybe going to a month into a season. I just don't think you go into a year with a rookie running back to be the kind of bell cow for you. You go with a veteran guy for the mere fact there's a chance that Mahomes might not play right out the gate. You're going to rely on some rookie at a college where, first off, Andy Reid doesn't even trust a veteran running back to get the ball to more than 12 times a game. I just don't see them drafting a rookie running back and making him the bell cow right out the gate. I could see them going for Breece Hall. They obviously had interest in him in the trade deadline. Kenneth Walker, any of these veteran guys, and bringing them in and kind of letting them kind of tote the rock. And that's what I think they're kind of that's the way I'm thinking. That's why I'm kind of steering away from running back, at least in the early rounds of this draft.
No, I mean, I agree with you. You want a guy that has experience, had NFL experience. And sometimes when a rookie guy comes in, it takes time for him to get that vision, get the, the timing of everything, how everything works. And also, too, in our offense, Marcus, the reality is we ain't looking for a bell cow type of guy. We're looking for a guy that maybe come in, might get 20 carries and a couple of passes, catch a couple of passes. If he can be that guy, then so be it. So that's the deal right now. I don't. As far as a rookie coming in, I don't know what he's going to be able to hit on, man. It'll take some time. I wanted to send you something, man, because this kind of goes into what we were speaking of. Let's see if I can send it to you. But with that being said, what we've seen over the years, the guys that's been here, and that's what they were kind of talking about. The guys that's been here since Patrick Mahomes' era as your running backs. So they were talking about Kareem Hunt, Damian Williams, Isaiah Pacheco. I don't know if you've seen that or not. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Well, I've seen a lot of stuff going on around about how we haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher in the Mahomes era yet. I mean, I've just seen a lot of tweets about that.
Yeah. Okay. And that's kind of what I was talking about. And so with that being said, man, shoot. Do we bring in, that's what I'm saying. Are we going to have a guy that we're going to give the ball to? And I've already said this before. Even if you bring that guy in, our guys up front got to do a much better job what they did this past year. We were, like I said when I was showing Jay Gruden, we were maybe average at best across the board on our line, average. And so we weren't top tier like we should have been. When you see other teams that are protecting the quarterback, that are getting yardage with their running back, a lot has to do with the up front blocking, the scheme that you're running. And so with us, that we got three things going against us that wasn't up to par. We're right on par. Running game, as far as scheme-wise, what we're running, offensive line blocking, and then sometime a pass protection. So those are things that, at least in that room, that group, have to do a much better job. They have to. And I don't care who you got in the backfield. If you don't have that line sewn up, guys coming off the football, and that includes a tight end. Bring the tight end that can do some blocking as well. Like, he's got to be an effective guy, okay, to get some yards, getting up there to the second level. That is key to capture edge. If you don't have those type of guys, that nucleus of guys, it's always going to be a hard time. It's going to be a hard time. And every team I've seen that was affected with the running game in the NFL, they had all those things going for them. Good pass blocking, good running blocking, good run scheme, and then good tight ends blocking as well. And so, I don't know, as far as Trav did a good job with this blocking. Noah was so-so. He was suspect this year, which was kind of surprising. But also, too, we didn't do anything as far as, like, getting our tight ends catching footballs like we should have. Just disappeared from it. No idea. Just disappeared. So, we used to talk when Jody Fortson was here. We're going to get the tight ends. Even Lance was sitting there talking about, skyscraper and cleats. We had all of that. And then all of a sudden,
disappeared.
Gone. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of the offense. We need to be able to get the tight ends involved. And Yeah, I think that's a big thing going into this draft. I mean, there are a good amount of tight ends in this draft. We also have Jake Brinstall we've had on ice. Maybe they activate him for this last game of the year so we can see what he's got for this one game. But you're right, though. I mean, we had Robert Tynan in the building. He looked good during preseason. Never really got the utilization that we thought he was going to get. Yeah, I mean, you're right. We haven't really had the tight end utilization for a couple of years now, about 2 years.
Yeah. So I don't know. So all those things, man, we definitely have to address if we want to make this offense a lot better than what it is. And so, we know on this side of the football, there's things that you can fortify. Pono sitting there saying, "What up, Pono? Good to see you in here, brother." Let me see. What do you say? How's it, JD? Oof, a tough year. Oh, well. So what's your number one pick in the draft? Do you trade down for more picks or consider it with all the holes we have?
I do think because I've seen a lot of people say trade back for the more picks. I mean, it's on the table. We've talked about this. McDuffie will be traded. McDuffie potentially could get us multiple picks and a trade with, a second and fourth. I've seen some experts say we could probably get a first and maybe a fourth for him. So there you have. You don't have to trade your own pick back. You can trade McDuffie, get more assets back, and then there you go. You have more assets to play with.
Yeah, you can do that. Like you said, they're gonna have plenty of time to think all that out as far as like what they want to be able to do. So, what do you say? What is our main thing that we need to address? Okay, you had your druthers, right? You got your choice. You're the GM. What are you picking first, or what do you think that we need the dire need in?
I think the dire need for us, and you and I have pretty much echoed the same thing for the last 2 or 3 years. Because we've seen pretty much the writing on the wall every year. It's like, oh, should we go get a veteran edge rusher to have a rotation of edge rushes because we don't really have any? So yeah, I mean, the big thing for me is DN and D tackle. Now, if you get a defensive tackle that can rush the passer and kind of do it all, sure. And I think there's some guys who can do a little bit of that. Second round, third round. It just depends what happens in that front, that top 10. Because I've kind of looked at the mocks, and obviously things are going to change because combine will happen, and some of these guys are 1.4, 140s, and the guys will be boosted up to the top of the food chain. Yeah. So like, there's a lot still going to change in this case. But I would say, yeah, my main would be DN, D tackle, staying in the trenches on the D line. However, if things happen in that top 10 where it's either between the number 3 defensive end or a guy like I mentioned it before, but Caleb Downs, a safety from Ohio State, I'd probably lean going Caleb Downs and then going best BPA DN or D tackle in the second and third rounds and just kind of going that because I wouldn't want to take a flyer on just the need for the third best defensive end at that number 9 pick or number 12 pick, whatever it is. But yeah, I would say
what if he's a game changer though?
If they see it that way, then go for it. By all means, go for it. And that's a need for us. I would just say.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go
ahead.
No. I would just say for me, I would rather take the number 1 BPA guy, like if it's a Caleb Downs type of guy, at number 9 instead of going for the number 3 defensive end at that point, which could be. I think I've seen Kendra Falk from Auburn as a potential of that of being that guy. And I've seen also defensive tackle Peter Woods from Clemson also being that guy. So the thing is, I'd be happy with any of those 3. It's just I would probably prefer one or the other. But for me, positional wise, if I was just drafting a position, not a name, I would say DN or D tackle.
Okay. And the thing is, if you don't get that, let's say you don't get that third defensive end. Okay, in the first round, right? First 2 gone, and the third one's right there. Then you're talking about second or third round trying to get a guy. Now you're getting the 10th or 12th or 15th defensive end, which could hurt you even worse. So that's what I'm saying. Like if we have a pressing need, and I know you talk about your guy, what's his name? Bates? Who is it? What's the dude from Ohio State? What's his name?
The safety?
Yeah.
Downs.
Okay, Downs. You go get him. Like I said before, you still need guys to get after the quarterback. And if he's the truth, like you say he is, do you think he's even going to last that long?
That's the thing. I think that some of these experts in mock drafts, they have him going anywhere from like 3 to 10. So like he may not be there for us, honestly. But and also too, again, combine wise, if teams meet with him, and Nick Saban saying he's one of the smartest guys he's ever coached, teams meet with him like, man, this guy's a real deal. I want to draft him, so he can go top 3. I think there's gonna be a lot of guys who right now people think 5 to 15, they're going to go up to and kind of push everybody else back. So, I mean, right now I say, but I also think he'll be a top 5 pick. I don't think it's going to be plausible we get him.
So then here goes the other question, right? And then you get to where you got to weigh everything out. So let's say you don't get your top defensive end that you're looking for, okay, or D tackle. And you're like, man, I got to settle, go ahead and get the safety, I get downs, okay? And he's our guy. Now, if you're not addressing the defensive end situation or defensive tackle situation in the draft, it means you have to go free agency. And so that's going to cost you more money because those guys cost more in free agency. That's just what it is. And so what type of caliber guy are you going to get in free agency for the type of money you're not willing to pay? We ain't trying to break the bank. Sometimes we just say, hey, we ain't got it. Every time we open up our wallet, man, a mouth comes out. We ain't got it. Sorry. And so that's the question. So that's why I say you had to weigh in all those different things and saying, well, shoot, can we go get us a safety that is very smart, can do all these different things, maybe for not as much money as you going to cost for a defensive end, in the long run, getting, a decent guy. So.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, it's like I think a lot of this will be hammered out by the time we get to the draft. But again, it could also happen like last year, right? We thought we had a left tackle situation figured out. Jalen Moore go to draft night, and then all of a sudden Josh Simmons is there, and we're like, oh, okay, let's take him. We already signed a guy we thought was going to be a left tackle, but hey, Josh Simmons is there. We're going to take him because he's the best guy in our board. He's number 1 guy on our board. We're taking him. So I mean, who knows? But I think we'll be able to see by the time we get to the draft if they spend money on edge. They spend money on D tackle. They're like, okay, all right, well, there you go. That's a need checked off a little bit. I mean, so a lot of this that's why I like the NFL draft and the way the NFL does the offseason, because like you kind of see the blueprint of what the team is doing based on what they're doing all free agency. And then by the time you get to the draft, like, okay, I think I know where we're going based on what needs we kind of solidified in the free agency. Whereas NBA draft, right? They do the draft right when the season ends and then off season hits. Right, and then you get to do all that. So we'll be able to probably maybe kind of get an outline and a blueprint of what we are going to go for in the draft based on what we do in free agency. And also, too, this is the one thing I'm curious what you think about this. If, like all the reports, everyone's saying the speculation that, like, based on money McDuffie's going to want, they're going to want to trade him. The only thing I don't want is I don't want the same thing to happen with Snead a couple years ago where we wait until after the draft to trade him, like, because that we didn't get that pick till the following year. Like, if that's going to happen, let's get it done fast so we can have that we know what draft capital we're going to have in this upcoming draft. So that's the one thing. I hope that situation gets hammered out, and I hope Veach doesn't kind of take us down to the 25th hour on that. What do you think about that?
I mean, it sounds like it works. It sounds like it would be the best course of action anyway. If you're definitely thinking about like, okay, let's do it now, so you do get draft capital and deal with it then. And you just have to see what teams are talking about. Some teams may not see the asset in McDuffie like we do. They're like, hey, look, he got hurt. We don't know scheme wise. We know he's very good. Is he a system guy? But no, McDuffie can play anywhere. So it's just, how teams it's the negotiation part of it. But if you're going to do it early so you do know what you're kind of dealing with. And that way you can prepare yourself draft wise too, right? Get a guy to replace. But I think, like I said, I think it takes all of those, all that thought process, man, to get to where you need to get to, especially for a team. Now, with some of the young guys that's played, okay, looking after this game and seeing what might happen next year, there's several names as free agents, okay? Several names that's free agents. Who do you bring back and what do you bring them back for? How much, the cost of those guys? saying these guys can help us. I think that's another thing too that you have to look at. So another number of guys, wide receiver. Travis Kelce is another one. We don't quite know what there's going to be with him. I'm just talking offense now. Defensively, same thing. You got some free agents, linebackers, defensive ends, corners for sure. So I don't know, man. There's going to be some changes. Let me put it this way: there's going to be some changes in the organization on the team. So
yeah,
hold on to your hat, baby.
Seriously, I mean, Veach's gonna have to. He's had a pretty cushy job over the last 10 years, but Veach, time to earn that paycheck this summer, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. We just need dogs. Best dogs available is who we should draft. Grab some free agents, invest to fix stuff, deal assets who are looking for paydays. That's been the formula. That's what you have to do. But it's
You said you looked at some of the D tackles and D ends. JD, did you by chance look at Ruben Bain at all, the Miami D tackle D end?
Did I look at him? I think I put in all the top ones.
Okay.
The top prospects, defensive end, defensive tackle on YouTube. Kind of get a little glimpse of guys.
Okay.
And I kind of watched, and I went to, all those guys' highlights. So I don't know if I look at I'm sure I did. But it wasn't nothing that really popped out to me. It was a guy from, I'll tell you the one that popped out, a little undersized, is a man from Texas Tech, with Texas A&M. Which one did?
There's two. There's a guy named Bailey from Texas Tech, and there's also Cassius Howell from Texas A&M.
Okay, I think it's Bailey. Undersized, okay. About 240, 245. Came from Stanford. Him, yeah,
that's Bailey.
Yeah. I like his move. I like him. Undersized guys, but he's got a motor, man, that is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And he's got a guy opposite of him too that does a pretty decent job. Number 9, I think, is okay. And then who was the other guy you was talking about?
There was the A&M guy, Cassius Howell.
Okay, Cassius Howell. Kind of looked at him.
He was at Texas A&M, and I believe he was at Toledo or Akron before he transferred to Texas A&M.
Okay,
he was a MAC guy before he went to A&M.
Yeah. He's pretty decent too. He's pretty decent. Who's it? They had another dude from I think Oregon who used to be a tight end, defensive end. Kind of.
Oh yeah. I can't pronounce his name.
Got a crazy last name. You got a Lele, something like that, man. But
yeah, he's a guy that a lot of people have. Mateo, ukulele.
Yeah,
he's a second round guy, is what he's projected to be.
Yeah, he looks more like a second round type of dude anyway. I wasn't really as impressed, but it's kind of early. It's kind of early looking at guys. Yeah. So
it's just that JD, like when I see things, and I guess like people, and I think Tage kind of hit on this in the post game show where we talked about like there comes a point here where it's like, people say, oh, he's not a Spags guy. Like we're going to go for the Spags prototype defensive ends. And it's like, Spags has done a great job. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dogging Spags here. We've gotten the Spags type of prototype defensive end, but like we haven't found that guy, right? Like we have a certain dude in mind, but we haven't found that the guy that we talk about, that beast who's going to get you sacks, right? We thought we could get Josh Uche to come in here and be that speed rusher. Didn't get utilized at all. FAU, that's still been a mystery in a project so far. Carl Loftus, high motor guy, probably going to tap out about 9 to 10 sacks a year, maybe. It's just that I see some of these guys like Bailey and Cassius Howell, these two guys we just talked about. They may not be prototypically a Spags guy based on their build, right? Because it's talking about undersized. It's like at some point I think we need to go get a guy who's going to get specialized as being a pass rusher. I don't know. I feel like we need a break from some of these trends and kind of the Spags type guys. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think if Spags finds a guy that, he's not really just his system. If he's a go-getter, He wants it. I'll tell you, like this past game, right? I watched George stand up more than I've seen him stand up before in the game. He looked good standing up, actually rushing. And I was just like, man, maybe we need to have him standing up rush a lot better than putting his hand in the dirt. It's definitely a different element because you could just come with a little bit more kind of power and speed off of that, and getting your hands on a guy, as opposed to like jumping up and having to make some moves. When you're up top, you could kind of bull rush a guy immediately, just kind of pushing back. And he looked good. He actually looked pretty decent, rushing the pass in this past game. So if we could do it, get some more of that from him, it might be a different thing that we need to do technique-wise. My thing is, if we're looking for guys that are just speed rush guys, go get him. Doesn't matter. There's certain guys who can fit into any scheme. Yeah, he does. Why? Because he gets about 12 to 15 sacks. He fits. Yes, he fits. Right. That's all you need to know. So the one Bailey, I think Bailey, like I said, he's undersized, 245. Spag packages, when you start looking at JPP and those guys, it was more around 6'4", 275. Like, FAU was not that size. Neither is Kalafkas. They're not, they don't look that big. Them guys kind of look long and lanky. They're like, I'll tell you, like a man who looks like a Spag special, prototypical guy. Seriously. And I hated, man, he hurt his knee. I think it slowed him down significantly to where he needed to be, seriously. So, man, I hope, man, he just, because I'm rooting for Menahu, for him to get what he deserves. He's been putting the work in, he gives it his all. Thing is, it's a performance-based business. You need sacks. Before you looked at and be considered for a high payday, you're going to have the numbers to back it up too. That's the way it works. So let me put it this way. I might have waited. No, I'm going to say it. I would have waited on signing Kalafkas. I would have waited on signing this past year. I definitely would have. To see how everything was going to work. I get that they was going to try to get him signed for something cheaper than him hitting the market. Say, man, if he blows up, shoot, he's going to be asking a whole lot that we can't give. And so they gambled on that, right? And Kalafkas brings a lot to the table, but I think he struggles in the run game. And some other defensive end struggle to kind of in the run game, to be that all-around type of guy. And the thing is this, if we're going to sign you for a good amount of money, you're going to have to be great at either one. You dig what I'm saying? You have to be great either speed rush, coming around that edge, getting pressures and sacks. That's what you're going to have to do if you get that money. Or you got to be a dog in the run just to make sure you're pushing everybody back, getting penetration, that you're able to do both. So that's the only thing with me that I had. And I think we kind of jumped the gun, at least with him paying them money. So.
That's a good point. I mean, he's solid, right? He brings you that motor and that energy, but he's solid. He's not a beast who's getting you. You can mark him down to 12 to 15 sacks a year. That's not happening. And in the run game, it's not his specialty either. So you're right. I mean, they should have held off.
Yeah, it was just like Chris Jones told him. He said, "Hey man, shoot, get 12 to 15 sacks then. Get 12 to 15." When they start chirping each other in camp.
Yep.
It's like, hey man, you ain't arrived. Don't think you just because you got paid, they paid you money, and you had your best year. I don't know what's been Kalafkas' best year here.
I think he had a 10-sack season. Let me see. His best season, 10.5 his sophomore year. So 2023, 10.5 sacks.
Okay.
So 6, 10.5, 8, 6 so far this year.
So that's what you're looking for when you have that. After you have that 10, you're expecting 12, 14, 15. Like that's what you expected to send. to keep getting more and more and more. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for future production. And that's why teams buy into guys like that, right? And so you said he has 6 sacks this year? That's it? Jeez.
That's it.
Yeah.
But for those advanced stat metrics, though, he's got a lot of pressures, though.
Yeah.
At some point, I want some sacks. I'll take a decline in pressures if you're going to give me some more sacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
I mean, and he had a big what do you call it? A big playoffs last year, and I think that's why they're like, you know what, we'll pay you. He had 4 sacks in the playoffs last year, and I think, and that 3 of them came in that one Houston game. So,
well, your agent sees it, and sucker start calling. He comes calling. Hey man, listen, you see George get a couple of sacks and pressures. Are we ready to speak? Are we ready to talk some turkey right now? If you're not, coach, hey, look, coach, I got some teams on the other horn been asking about him. I don't want to say who, but no, they've been talking. They're interested in seeing what you're going to do with him. So,
the bottom line is, I think whether we draft a DN in round 1, whether we sign a DN in this free agency, I want us to make sure in this draft, when it's round 2, round 3, I want us to bring in multiple DNs and D tackles, whether it's 1 DN, 1 D tackle, because that's back-to-back drafts. We drafted Gelati, no more Norman Lott last year, and then this year we drafted another DN and another D tackle, and we finally have that rotation of young defensive ends and D tackles who can actually, help out Chris Jones, because at the end of the day, that's who needs help. And we'll see. Gelati's a developmental piece. He's looked good as the season's gone on. Omar Norman Lott, kind of a question mark as to, but I mean, we didn't really get to see him this year. He tore his ACL early on. I hope he recovers well from that. And then, I think the problem is, JD, we've drafted guys in the past who haven't really panned out, right? Yeah. And I'll go from first round. I'll go to the back half of the draft. So FAU, obviously, it's still a question mark. We don't know what's going on with that. Joshua Kane-Doe is a later round guy. We thought he could maybe develop into something. That didn't happen. Malik Herring, we thought that could develop into something. Didn't happen. Our D tackles, Derek Nottie, hasn't really, never really panned out. Pennell was probably the best piece as D tackle next to Chris Jones. Tershawn Wharton was pretty dang good as well. But for the most part, we've kind of missed on a lot of these other D tackles and other edges. And that's kind of the issue here. Because right now, we should have FAU, we should have Carl Loftus and be like, you know what? These are 2 stalwart guys. We can actually get these are 2 solid DNs. If we just draft, we draft guys to kind of rotate with them at this point. We're still trying to find that other guy.
It's crazy to me that with FAU, he was so much in his bag during college that I don't understand. Like, I just hadn't translated here to the NFL, man. I don't know what it is, but that red is a head scratcher, because I'm just like, shoot, when you watch the tape, he jumps out at you on his playmaking, and somehow I don't know, man. It is a head scratcher. Like, I hadn't figured out. Like, you would think something had clicked, the light bulb would come off. Like, hey man, this is your year to go and just take over, especially at the defensive end, man. You just got to go and you got to wreak havoc. It just hadn't happened for him, man. It hadn't happened. I just hate to see that. Kalakis, he was a guy I wanted. Talked about him. High motor guy, that's what he is. And I think Brian was saying that, he's a complimentary piece. He needs a guy on the other side. Well, shoot, if you're a high draft pick, listen, I don't care if you're a late round, first round, you're supposed to be coming in and getting some sacks, man. You ain't supposed to be a complimentary piece. You're supposed to be the guy. I think people are going to understand, like, you still got to be like the dude around there. So, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah. And the thing about FAU too, like, obviously college to NFL is a whole different thing. You always talk about it, right? We aren't going against guys who are majoring in financing, but it's still high level talent he was going against at Kansas State. The last 2 years, 11.5 sacks to 8.5 sacks before coming to the NFL. Like, he should have been given us some kind of, something. We haven't really gotten that. And I hope this next year when he comes back from the injury that he had, I hope we can see a little bit of that. And at the very least be a rotational guy that we can kind of put in there. It's just the way it was trending before he got hurt, playing in the fourth quarter preseason games. I mean, that's scary stuff that you're dealing with. And I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if he just doesn't – whatever they're asking him to do is just not clicking with him. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. But you see, Brian says elite pass rushers are typically found at the top of the draft. They are, but they're also found at toward the end, in the second round. You can find – if a guy can rush the passer, he might not be great at, like I said, all the things. But if he's a elite pass rusher, that's what you expected him to do. Like if I'm, a guy, has a number of sacks in college, which I think FAU did, you would expect to have some type of production. To at a certain point start just getting better and better every single year. I think somebody, Brian might also said no, I think it was Tato Freya. Let me see what he was talking about. He said, I think it's coaching also, JD. This D-line coach, even if you don't get a sack, at least put your dang hands up to knock the ball down and passing. They did it last week and knocked one down. I'm like, yes. Yeah. Get the hand up. That's on the guy. That's not on the coach. Coach is always saying that. Get your hand up. The guy should do it instinctually. If you can't get back there to the passer, get your hand up. At least in the lane or something, knock that ball down. At a certain point, I mean, every defensive tackle, defensive end knows that. You know I don't have a lot, right? If you can't get back there, knock the ball down. Get a finger or something on it. Change the trajectory of that ball, the way it spins, whatever. So, yeah, man.
And I'll tell you what, just looking at Gelati versus FAU's rookie year stats, and we're talking about a guy we drafted third round versus a first round pick, but Gelati's got one and a half sacks. He might have more this coming weekend. FAU only had a half sack his rookie season. Gelati has a pick. Gelati has 22 more total tackles than FAU did also rookie year. Gelati's probably playing more than FAU did, but also too, he's a third round pick playing more. FAU should have been playing a lot as a first round pick, So
he should have been the guy.
Yeah,
it shouldn't even been a rotation. This is yours. You got your name on it. You come in the locker. Hey man, FAU, you're in your hometown. Shoot, come on, baby. What better scenario do you need than that? But I think Ashton is another guy that I do believe is going to get better. And with him getting that experience, he is going to get much, much better. I think with him also, too, like he did at Louisville, man, stand him up. Let him stand up. Let him rush, doing those things. And I get we had to move him up and down the line because we wanted to see what we could get out of him. And every single position he's been in, he's done a good job. He does an amazing job. He's another guy that's not going to quit. He hustles all around the place. So he stays kind of making plays. You see him, he's part of what you do defensively. And that's a great thing to see.
100%. And at the end of the day, you need those motor guys. And July, for one thing he has is that nonstop relentlessness. And we may say we expect a little bit more of Karlaftis based on, this new contract he got. But at the end of the day, he's a motor guy, and you need those guys. To have him and July kind of coming at you all day long, it's great. But we need some guys who are kind of the playmakers to be able to go get sacks whenever they're out there. The guy that the other offensive line is fearing. You're not really fearing the motor guy. You're annoyed at the motor guy. You're not fearing the motor guy. We want a guy you're fearing on the other side. And to have a dude like that we're talking about, that'd be unreal to have next to Chris Jones and high motor guys like Gelati and Karlaftis. But you can't say enough about what Gelati's done for us this year. I like where he's going to be next year. I think he's going to be a problem, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. Bronson agreed on George, Jason, but CJ didn't have as many sacks as George this year. Well, I mean, you don't expect him to have that many. The defensive tackle shouldn't have more sacks than the defensive end, for one. No. Number two, Chris is getting double team and triple team the entire game. Not to mention, I keep saying this. I've been saying this for the past 2 or 3 years. I'm like, y'all going to wear CJ out. Y'all going to run him into the ground. You're going to run him into the ground. to the point where he just can't do it anymore like he needs to. And so sometimes you got to pick and choose those certain battles that you have. The thing is, if you have somebody that can, spell those things, right? Give him a break and come in and like, hey, man, this dude right here is still going to wreck shop. That's what you need. But it's almost like we couldn't even do that with Chris. Chris come out of the game, then it'd be like a big play. Heck, it was, I think in Houston, we took him out of the game, they scored. I can see plays like that all the time. Like, Chris is out.
Yep. And I would say to myself, like, oh, no, Chris is out. Uh-oh. Like, right away, I'd be alarmed by it.
It's almost like that that meme there, Leonardo DiCaprio go,
Yeah, yeah. Like,
yo, hey, he's out. Hey, let's go. Let's run it right there.
Yep.
So that's a fact, barbershop, man. You had to win your one-on-one matchups. That's what it's all about. That's what this game is, especially on the line of scrimmage, offense or defense. Wherever the side that you on, you got to win your one-on-one. You have to. So you just got to be better than your guy that one play. And as much as teams are passing it, man, shoot. Yeah, I mean, there's more opportunities.
When I look at the stats here, JD, so one thing we've kind of talked about over the years, over the last few years, obviously pass rush. Mm-hmm. And this year you're seeing it. I mean, our top guys, Karlaftis was 6th there. I mean, that's just, if you look at our sack list and then you go to some of the top 15 teams, it's like, wow. Like,
oh, yeah.
They're like 4th guys that what Karlaftis has with the 6 sacks, but also turnover differential. And like that's been something that last few years we've seen that we talked about as an issue, but like we were going to the playoffs, you're going to the Super Bowl, it didn't matter. But now we're talking about things catching up to us. We're not getting those turnovers. And I'm looking at interceptions here. Watson's got 2. I mean, that's it, man. We're not getting the turnovers. And that's why, like, when people talk about, like, when we bring up Caleb Downs potentially at that pick, if he's there, it's like, well, you can make a case for that, to have a guy in the back there who can, like, make game-changing plays, turnover-type plays. And we're not getting that at all.
Yeah. Yep. He's one guy around him. I mean, all the other guys got to know what they're doing, too.
That's true.
Shoot. So, and I think it's part of our problem as well. Secondary-wise, we've seen guys get lost, in coverage and, blowing assignments. That's part of the reason why we are where we are, man.
And it all true, and all kind of like a domino effect, right? You don't get the pass rush. Quarterback has all day to do what they want. They don't need to throw. They don't need to force the ball, cause a turnover. But when you have a pass rush, quarterback's frantic, you throw that thing up there, interceptions, right? It all kind of plays with each other.
Well, and this is what our linebackers can't cover. Well, daggone, shoot, if you ain't getting no pressure on them, why would the line? You don't want your linebacker covering for more than 4 or 5 seconds. You just don't. No. You don't want that happening. You shouldn't have to be covering a wide receiver running, seam route. He might have to do it, but he's good within that 5 to 10 range. And after that, it's like, hey, man, you causing a problem, an issue. So if a quarterback can sit back there and pat the ball a little bit, wait for his tight end to get open, or maybe that slot guy or whatever, then they ought to win. That's how the matchup should look. Okay.
Yeah, it was nice to see not Noel Williams, but Christian Fulton create that turnover last week, that PD, which Bolton was right there to catch the Fulton, the Bolton alley-oop.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, like I said, there's going to be a lot of changes all season. And kind of embrace it. Embrace it. Chief Concerns family. Embrace it. It's good.
Embrace it. That's right. Embrace it. A lot of changes, man. But it's good. It's good, shoot.
2026. I believe 2026 is the year of the snake, JD. You're shedding the skin. Embrace change. You're shedding the skin. You're shedding that old you off. Here we are. So here we go. Embrace the change, baby. Bring it on.
Yeah. Brian said the positive team is like Jacksonville and Chicago went from worse than the league on takeaways last year to best this year. So we can fix this off. Yes, we can.
Yeah. That's big time. JV 85
Oh, go ahead.
Says, if Fulton, Knowles, and Knowles ball out like last game, I'm closer to thinking trade McDuffie. Well, I mean, I think based on contract demands and where our situation is money, I think that also plays a part in it as well, too. But like we talked about in the postgame show, Fulton, Noel Williams looked awesome last week, and they can kind of replicate that by all means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just looking for those guys to be consistent. You want consistency there. You have a good game, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's giving up 2-3 touchdowns. Oh, no.
I'll tell you what, Fulton and Knowles, both those guys are very physical dudes. I love that. That really jumped out at me during that game. Because you look at that first game we played Denver, all the receivers kind of cooked us. And then this past game, you see you get in them a little bit with Nolan and Fulton, and then you see it was a little different.
Mm-hmm. Amber Brown says, I still say the 2024 season carried over to 2025, the inability to close out games strong last year and winning too many games in the last second left to fall since invisibility. Yeah, yep. I agree with you. I do. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I think it was part of like that, the confidence that you had, the arrogance, like, hey, man, this thing's been working. We got the right formula to overcome these things, right? We got the guys in. We seen it do last year to overcome it. Why wouldn't we be able to do it again this year? And now we got Rashid Rice back and all those. Now we got the fast guys. We could throw the ball down the field. We didn't have ability last year to do it, right? Because we didn't. We didn't do that last year. This year, that's what we wanted to do. And I think that's why we got away from doing a lot of our tight end stuff. I think Laura Zingzer was sitting there saying the same thing about didn't have a fullback, but sometimes you don't need a fullback. You have a tight end that's could do the exact same thing a fullback can do. And get out there in the flat, on the route. Sure. Do some creative things with a tight end. We just didn't do that either. Just didn't even do creative things with 13 personnel. Just got away from it. No seam routes. That area of the field, like seam routes and stuff, didn't really do it. We did the one, I think, the halfback go route, okay, with Brashard Smith. They caught that one. And I thought, okay, this is what we're going to look. We're going to be seeing these things. Nope. No,
and I feel like we only ran 2 screens with Brashard Smith all year, and one of them was just last week. I mean, like a lot of things we thought we were going to be able to see what we saw from the preseason. Like, man, this is going to be so dynamic. We're going to have all these guys. Even Brashard Smith can be out there. No. Yeah. It was oddly vanilla at the same time. Sometimes cute, which made no sense to be cute, right? When it was time to just run the ball up the gut, didn't do that because we're doing something crazy. But then when it was like time to, like, run a screen pass or, run angle routes to Brashard Smith, didn't see it.
I even say that we got away from some of our cuteness.
We did.
Some of our creativity that I would see some of us do, didn't see any of that. Didn't she see the shovel pass? I didn't see a shovel pass this year. I can't remember seeing one. It used to be a bread and butter. Bread and butter. Didn't see it. So there was things that I was sitting there like, man, we missed the opportunity. We did. Missed opportunity. And I think we had one thing in mind that we could have done, and that's pushing the ball down the field, which I agree with. Partially do some of that, right? But still keep teams honest, running the football effectively. A little bit more tight end work where teams are thinking you're going to run the football. Then you throw the ball out of 13 personnel. Yeah, guys can catch the football, very good tight ends. I've seen other teams have tight end packages that just worked. Seattle worked us during preseason. They had 13 personnel the entire time, it seemed like. And they ran straight through us. I'm just like, well, shoot. We ain't picking up on that there. Something's wrong with us. Nope. I mean,
that's all the Rams do. If you watch some of the Rams games, you have Parkinson doing stuff, you have Ferguson doing stuff, and you have Higbee doing stuff. Man, that's 3 tight ends who I think have multiple touchdowns this year. Like, we didn't do that. We were from a team that utilized the heck out of tight ends to not at all. I mean, it makes no sense, JD. I watched some of these teams. I'm like, man, like they have a good tight end group. Seen all their guys get utilized, but us, no.
Yep.
And we paid Noah Gray last year like we were going to utilize him going forward. I remember everyone saying, "Oh, yep, he's the heir apparent. See, he's getting paid like it."
Yeah, let's do it.
Really?
Nathan didn't get nothing, man.
No.
We did have one short pass ran on us. We did.
The Titans did it against us.
Scored too, didn't they? They scored that?
Either they scored or they got close to it. Did they score on that?
I think they scored.
Pathetic.
Somebody's like, "Oh, remember we used to do that? We used to do that." Jeez. It looked good when we did it too.
Man. All right. So tonight is our second to last grade show of the year. And obviously that game felt like an eternity ago, but we're going to dissect and look at the Christmas Day game against the Denver Broncos coming here. So let's take a gander at this one, JD. All right, so our first one we got Andy and Nagy, and I found a rare shot of both of them looking at plays on the tablet there. And I don't know if you saw this, JD. More rumors are coming out about Nagy getting a job elsewhere. His contract is set to end this season, and didn't want to exercise an extension because he wanted to kind of explore what was out there when the season was over.
Oh, all right. Well, good for him.
And Tennessee could be on the table.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah.
So Andy and Nagy. Like I said, I thought this game they did a decent job at least trying to give Chris things to manage the entire game. Didn't put him in any type of precarious positions whatsoever. Let him run the football, get comfortable a little bit, but also two passes that was kind of manageable. They're able to do. I think they missed the ball, not getting the ball to Travis Kelce early. If they were trying to, they just didn't. So I thought they did a decent job with it, and I'm actually was encouraged that they ran the football like they did. Some of the passes that Chris could throw, like he did at the Titans, we didn't try too many of those either. I do like the ones going up top to Hollywood Brown. Chris was a little bit behind on that, but I think overall, man, the coaches did a decent job trying to manage what they could with Chris and the O-line and the wide receivers and all those different things. So actually, I gave him a C+.
Yeah, I would say the one thing I thought we were more successful with the run this game, but like still only eight carries for Pacheco or 9 carries for Hunt, like only 17 combined between the two of them. And I don't know if it's a failure of the play calling, but to not get Brashard Smith the ball as far as carries wise, that's been the kind of fail for me. In that sector alone, I would say an F for me in getting Brashard Smith the touches in these final games. But I will say, putting us in position to, win that game. I thought they did a good job with that. But as far as not getting Brashard Smith the touches that he should be getting, and that's where I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of thrown off by the play calling there.
Well, how many total plays did we have? Do you know offensively?
Ooh, let me check.
Because I think it was part of it. Is we just didn't have the ball a lot. No, we just didn't.
Ooh, so we had 20 minutes of possession time, 42 total plays.
Oh yeah, see that's you down there. That's in the bottom of the barrel in plays. Number of plays running in the game. Yeah. 42 plays. That's not a lot at all. You should be averaging somewhere about 60 easy for a game. So
42 plays with 16 combined 17 combined run plays called. So Worthy's reverse, 7 carries for Hunt, 9 carries for Pacheco.
Mm-hmm.
So 42, so 17 of the 42. I mean, yeah, it's about half. A little less than half, about 45% of plays called were run.
Mm-hmm.
So that is obviously that is a lot, especially for a Chiefs team. But you you would think with the third string quarterback, they would run it even more. But again, 42 plays. Yeah.
Well, I mean, still going into it, how does our line look? Are we getting a lot of yards? Or just, beating our heads in and like, okay, we're just trying to take some of the time off the clock. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not prolong this, more than we need to. Or we actually trying to win the game. And I think they were trying to win the game.
Yeah.
They wanted us to win the game. So I think, but they were sitting there saying, like, look, we got to give him things that we know is going to be able to work, that we know he's going to be able to hit on. We don't want to put him in any type of situation that is going to be like a high turnover, plays. So I think they did a good job with it, actually. And I wasn't mad at what they were calling. Some of the runs, obviously, I would have switched it up with something different than what they did. But overall, just as far as like what they were trying to do with him, I gave him a C+.
Yeah, it's fair. It looks like everybody in the chat's got mostly C's, 1 C+, and a D. So in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
All right, we got running backs, JD.
RBs. That picture right there, Brashard getting into the end zone. Pacheco did a good job running pretty hard, getting some yards. I was very impressed. But, I think it's, with him, man, he's going to be playing 100 miles an hour. That's what he does. Same with Kareem Hunt, man. This running back group did a pretty decent job. They didn't hurt us in no type of way. With these guys, man, I actually gave him a B-. That was big, man, for Brashard like that. To see something like that, he should have been getting a little bit more than what he did. And the reason I gave him a B-, and I circled it. So if y'all want to give him a C+, you can. But I felt with some of the holes not being as clean as they were, the guys were, just kind of, Pacheco was kind of getting up through a little bit. I was a little impressed. I was like, okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. So, yeah, like I said, as long as our guys didn't hurt us, able to get that tub and, did a decent job. So, yeah, B-.
Yeah, I thought obviously Pacheco ran hard. Kareem Hunt did his classic, third and short conversions, but not getting Brashard Smith the ball. And as it carries wise, it's an ongoing issue this year. But I saw him involved more in the passing game, and I love what I saw in the passing game. He almost broke that screen. He could have, if he avoided that one defender, he probably would have taken it to the house potentially. But this touchdown here showed will and grit. Like he should have been tackled maybe at that 3 or the 2 yard line, but he broke the tackles and got to the end zone, man. I love seeing that from Brashard.
Yeah.
Looks like we got C's, C+, C, C+, 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 B-. Todd Tolfree, most uncreative offense ever since in 20 years.
Straight vanilla, baby. That's all it was. Looked like high school. Height.
Yeah, it wasn't the yeah.
Blue 87. Blue 87.
Deshaun Hammonds has asked a good question here, JD. Why are they using Brashard like that? D'Anthony Thomas, so pretty much a McCole Hardman type role.
We know he has that ability, Deshaun. We do. We know he could do it all. And the problem with this is if you know he has the receiving skills and the running skills, you should be giving him a much bigger role to do those things. And it shouldn't just be gadget plays. He has the gadget play ability in him, right? But he also has just your traditional practical plays. Just hand the ball off, let him come up, beat gap, or let him run to the outside. Get you a couple of blocks, set the edge, let him get to the outside. And I don't know why they're afraid to let him get up in there and run in between the tackles. Did it in college. Sure, he's been in the league. At this point, you ain't no rookie anymore. That's what they tell you. You know how it goes, Deshaun. After a while, you ain't no rookie no more, man. You at the latter part of the season. So you have been Christian on in. You are the guy that you moving on to the next year. We got to see what you can do. So Brashard Smith is another one of those guys that head scratching to me. We just haven't been utilizing. And I don't know if we were just trying to appease, Pacheco. I mean, Hunt, we know should get to run the football and run the rock. He's been running hard all year. So I'm around. Yeah, he's appeasing the older guys. You don't want to get them suckers upset. But
are you more frustrated if you're Brashard Smith with his utilization, or I was asking as a player, would you rather be in Brashard Smith's shoes or Dameon Pierce's shoes?
Oh man, jeez, yeah, David Pierce not even getting a look.
Healthy scratch,
dude. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, at least Brashard's touching the ball. At least he's getting plays for him. He's not carries, but
here's the thing. Maybe we storing Dameon Pierce and saying like, look, we looking for you to be the guy. They talking about all these other dudes out here. You might be the one that we're talking about. Oof. To be that guy.
Oof. I'll tell you what, you're gonna have a fan base rioting and picketing if that's the if that's their offseason running back plan, JD. You should see some of these fans out there. Jeremiah Love, and we're gonna sign Breece Hall. We're gonna have the best running back duo next year.
I hear you.
But the crazy thing is the trends for Brashard Smith is a weird thing, right? So against the Buffalo Bills, that was the first game without Pacheco. We had 3 carries for Brashard. Since that Buffalo Bills game, he's gone 0 carries, 1 carry, 0 carries, 1 carry, 2 carries, 0 carries, 0 carries. So it just doesn't. It went from he was getting more and more upticks and touches to nothing. Pretty wild there, honestly.
So if you're looking at it, so Dameon Pierce, 2022, he had 939 yards. Okay. He's a capable guy. He runs hard. He's a good back. 2023, 416 yards, 2.9. 2024, 293, average of 7.3 yards. And then this past year when he didn't get a look, they let him go. So, I know he was hurt. So maybe they looking at him to be like the backup guy. Maybe the guy that comes in and do some things. So
yeah, maybe. And I've said this before, right? Tyquan Thornton was signed around this time last year as a futures deal kind of deal. Yes. Maybe that is maybe say look, we're planning on getting somebody in the offseason, but we want a 1-2 punch, and we want you to be a part of that 1-2 punch going forward next year. Maybe that is what it is, and they're saving him for that. And maybe that's why he ended up signing with us. And that would actually make sense. I'm going to be here next year with you guys. I'll sign with you guys knowing that I'm part of your future plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if that's not the case, then I don't know what they did. I don't know what they talked about, because nothing makes sense if that's not the case.
So.
But here's Brashard, JD. There's a stat. Brashard Smith's trends, just like from game to game. Even forget about just the carries. Even the receptions went down.
Let me see where you at. Yep.
Because for a good while there, he's getting at least 3 targets a game, and then it kind of went away, and that was it.
Well, that but on the round right here, like that's you stick with your vets, and if you're thinking that you have other guys in there, right, we just utilize the wide receivers to do all the other things you want to do with it, what you want to do in this offense. So, yeah, he's another guy that we should have been putting him in a slot, 1-on-1 with slot guys and linebackers. That should have been what we was doing.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
But also, too, Marcus, problem goes into you putting me in is he a liability in pass protection if you need to keep him in. Sometimes you might have to keep a guy in. Is he good at chipping? If he's not good at chipping, then hey man, we can't put him in there for that. Why? Yeah. Because the money money guy's back here behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Are we trusting you going to protect the money guy? Shoot, we can't put you in because, we liked you at SMU.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
So,
but at the end of the day, we saw him as a return man. He looked pretty good as a return man. I think he's got at least next year. I think we have a punt returner in him at least. So
yeah, he could do that for us. He could do that.
And that's a huge thing too, because like the difference is that I think people who, and I get it, people who love our players on the team, I get it, but like Brashard plays offense. He's a part of the offense. Whether he's not getting the amount of touches we want him to get, that's one thing. But the fact he is in there and rotates on offense, that's a guy who's you get two things out of him. Nico's literally just on the team for punt returning. So if like you're not doing that to that and looking like one of the best in the league at it, then you're just wasting rosters as much as to hold a punt returner. Brashard can be a punt returner and he can do these things on offense that we want to see. So I think that's a luxury to have a guy who can do it all. So I think this might be the last time. I think it will be the last time we see Nico on this roster is in 2025. I think Brashard Smith is kind of leaped over him, I think.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our next group here. Our next group is our offensive line, JD. How did the offensive line do? They are getting a lot of respect online. A lot of people are saying Issa Pole and Chu Godric did pretty dang good against that defensive front from the Broncos.
Yeah, they weren't too bad. They weren't too bad against these guys. Still, the blocking could have been better up front, run blocking. We need to figure that out. The one that was kind of struggling a little bit was King Suma. King Suma struggled this game, big time. And it was glaring because I'm just like, shoot, you're supposed to be the solid dude on there besides Trey and Creed. It should be you. It shouldn't be anybody else. Chu and Issa, I'm not expecting them just to handle what they can handle. And so I think the old line did a decent job of it, protecting Chris. And we knew those guys were going to try to come after our guys because why? Yeah, they rookies, the young, wet behind the ears. This is where you can go patch your stats. Go get you a couple in this, man. So I think with that being said, I do like Linda and Andrea saying the same thing. I give him a C+. Give him a C+.
Do you think, obviously, as we see these guys play more like Chu Godric as well as Issa Pole, do you think we have guys, like as you see more and more of them in the body of work, and obviously they don't have their debuts a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Do you think we have potentially guys who can maybe compete for right tackle spots next year between Godric and Pole with Jalen Moore if they decide to go with in-house guys for next year at the right tackle spot?
If you did anything, Chu still needs some work. He's still young. He's still fresh out there. I would put Issa above him and then Jalen Moore above Issa. So that's my depth chart. Looking at if you go right tackle with any of those guys, that's where it would be. Jalen, Issa, and then Chu. So I think those guys are still kind of where they are, but they've done a decent job. I think if Issa gets stronger, Issa's going to be a problem, man. He's going to be a very good football player in this league. He just got to get that strength down, man. He does that, shoot. He's going to be a problem for sure. So I look for him getting better this off season. This off season for Issa should be all work. His focus should be on nothing but just getting better. Seriously. And somebody needs to tell him that immediately. Say, hey, look, man, don't get too far away from the facility. Or if you do, you make sure you're at a place that you working every single day or every week. If you're serious about this thing. Because he could just make that jump. Especially if you put a lot of work and effort and concentration into his craft and who he wants to be. Get somebody around him that understands what it means to be an NFL football player. He's going to be a monster. He's going to be a monster, man. So
there you go. So we do potentially see something with Issa Pole as a potential starting right tackle in the future.
Mm-hmm.
That's high praise from you, JD. And also, too, as far as like weight room wise, I mean, it's one thing to be at Oklahoma State or Washington State's weight program in the summertime, but an NFL weight program and structure is a little different.
Hey man, you got all off season. You got all get you a couple of break, about 2 or 3 weeks, get a break, still do little warm-ups and stuff like you need to do. After that, man, go back to work. Don't take no time off. None of that. I'm talking about get back in the lab as soon as possible. And somebody needs to make that point to him immediately. And I'm just saying this, Marcus, as a coach, when I had to evaluate guys that was coming into the draft, when 2024, 2023, and I'm looking at like guys, I'm like, shoot, there's some things you can do to help yourself out. Now the question is, are you investing your time into that? See, one or two things happens with guys during the off season. Either you take your time off and you all the way off and you ain't doing no type of work like you should be and enjoying yourself way too much. And then next thing you know, you try to come back in OTA, try to get back in shape, training camp, try to get back in shape, and it's too late. And your body doesn't respond because you haven't been working on it like you should have been working on it. Or you have guys who disappeared, go up in the mountains somewhere and understand like, shoot, I need to go ahead and be absolutely 1,000% in on this. And I got somebody in my ear or being around a camp that's going to be able to take care of those things. So that's the one or two guys. So I tell you what, man, hey, Deshaun, you need to get in contact with him, man. Take him down there and get him in that boxing ring. Get his hands right, brother. Reach out to him. So
we got a super chat from our guy Jason Tarbox. Appreciate the super contribution, buddy.
Yeah.
Finally able to catch this Chief Concerns live again. Can I ask for prayers for my wife fighting stage 4 cancer?
Absolutely, Jason. We there with you, brother. Praying for you. Stage 4 cancer, man. That's a tough thing. I've been there with my sister, so I know what that fight is. So you just be vigilant in this entire time. Let us stay vigilant with it also, man. So I tell you what, man, let me put a quick prayer in for Jason real quick, if you don't mind. All right. Gracious Father, we thank you right now for your infinite grace and mercy upon our life. We just want to pray for Jason and his wife and his family right now that's fighting this battle. Dear Father, we know that you know what we need in our life. We just ask that you continue just to surround Jason with the comfort and strength that he needs and his wife needs at this time. That they just continue supporting one another, endure this battle that they're going through, but see him through it, dear Lord. See him through it. Father God, I just want to pray also for all the people that's here on this chat with us right now, that you just watch over them, get them a hedge of protection, that we always look at you and give you all the praise and the glory. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
So,
amen. Santa loves you, Jason, and your family, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I told you, that's one thing I said. When people ask for prayers, man, I'm gonna give prayers to them immediately. So that's what we're gonna do.
That's what we do, baby.
Yeah, man.
That's what we do, baby.
I know our men's group, we do it. We pray, want it, we give it to you right now. So tell her keep fighting. Y'all keep praying. Okay, I'll do that. All right, we're right here with you. So,
sir. All right. And Deshaun Hammond says, I'm recruiting all offensive linemen this offseason. So Deshaun, let us know who you get. And I'll send some. I'll actually send CJ Hansen, some of the guys, your name, and get this. Try to get them over there.
Mm-hmm. That's it, man. Hey, brother, shoot. Hey, they could use it at boxing work. Sean knows that's a whole different type of that's a whole different type of shape that you have to be in. Well, I mean, we did that. I did 2 off seasons. And when I'm telling you, we used to do the 3-minute rounds. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Oh my dude. And you talking about the work, arms and everything, but just trying to get your breath. Woo. Gracious. Something else, man. They get you right though. Get you right.
I think that's what Jamal Lewis's one of his main offseason workouts was boxing. That was Jamal Lewis's main offseason attraction for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's Let's go to our next one. So we got tight ends, JD. Tight ends, which could have been Travis Kelce's last home game in Kansas City.
Hold on. Todd Tofree said, JD had them, please call Willie Rowe. Rowe ain't taking nobody's calls. He ain't going to take it for them young dudes. JD, shoot, let them, they can figure it out. Shoot, they know what to do. Shoot, they get all that money. They got plenty of facilities to do, man. That's Rowe. So I know Big Willie. So I had to tease Big Rowe, call him and say, hey, man, some old line from Kansas City won't work with you, Big Rowe. No, don't call me.
Nah, he's retired, baby.
Yeah, heck yeah. So tight ends, man. Tight ends. I'll tell you this. I don't believe this is Kelce's last game. Okay. I don't. And the way that he approached it and speaking to TG, I just seen that glimmer in his eye that it wasn't over. It didn't sound like a guy that was ready to put up his cleats. It sounded more like a guy that there was still unfinished business out there. And it didn't get to end the way he wanted it to end. Like for a guy that's, you expect to go out in glory and do the tour on everybody. That's why he was saying bye to everybody. He was just like, well, why everybody saying bye to me? Everybody from the Broncos came over. Hey, man, appreciate it. Yeah, hey, man, this ain't the last time you're going to see me. I think Travis Kelce is going to let everybody know before it starts when it's going to be the last season. And I think this one is going to be it. When he gets finished with this season, he's going to be able to sit back, take it all in. Like you said, he got two people on down, okay? One is his brother, Jason Kelce. Second one, he said TG, talks to those guys. Obviously his family, Taylor and all those different ones. You got a lot of people that he can talk to, okay? I'm going to tell you who also you're going to talk to a lot of. PM15, Chris Jones. And he's going to talk to everybody in the office and everybody up there too about getting everything right, and Andy. And he wants to see what direction we are going. And that's going to be, and I guarantee he's going to say, look, man, if we're going to try to get this whole thing, we need to go get the guys we need to go get to get it done. There are certain guys that didn't understand what it meant for our standard, what it needed to be, and all these teams have gotten better. And we've seen it over the past couple of years. Everybody was they were gunning for us. We knew this. It's clicking at our heels. Guess what? They done passed us up. So now it is time for us to regroup. If this is going to be my last hoorah, I could go out there and let everybody know this is going to be my last season coming in. And I can do it on my own terms, the way I want to do it. No ambiguity about it. So when I go in, I know this is going to be it. This is going to be it. That's how I feel he was talking and he was saying. I just didn't sound like a guy that was ready to hang it up. For the simple fact that you got so much love for a thing, Marcus, that it's hard to turn it away. It's hard to put it down. But you realize, man, at some point you're going to have to. You're going to have to. And for him, he's like, I ain't ready to leave these guys yet. I ain't ready to call Patrick to say how everything was going. I ain't ready to come back and hit the drum. I ain't ready to do all that. I'm not ready for that. I'm ready. When I go out, I want to go out on my own the way I want to. Okay? So you got to fight for your right to party. He's going to fight for his right to party this next year. This being the last one. And I think he's going to let it be known. And so, and I'm telling you what this, man, it just makes me just think. The excitement doing OTAs, training camp, mini camp, all of what it's going to be. And I guarantee he's going to let everybody know you better be on your job. You better be out here dedicating everything you possibly can, because we out here to win this thing. We are. And he's going to let those guys up front know. He's going to let Andy and Veach and all those other guys know. So this is going to be the bounce back. It's going to be the bounce back. But I see two teams the Chiefs and the Eagles, 2 Super Bowl guys that fought last year, struggled a little bit this year, right? I think a lot jumped on them. It's just like there's a little bit of fatigue there. Chiefs been doing it a number of years. So this is good for them. This is a great break for them. I'm glad this is a down year. This is where everybody regroups, reassess. Let's get it done coming in. So with that being said,
I agree with you on all that, by the way. I do think it's just not his last year. I think it probably could have been had we made the playoffs and had Mahomes never gotten hurt. And I think Mahomes getting hurt in the fashion that he did, like not knowing that was the end kind of deal, I do think that kind of tipped the scale. Okay, I'm going to come back for one more year. Because I do think midway through the season, I do think it was legitimately 50-50. Not to say it's not 50-50 right now, but I'm saying I think Mahomes getting hurt kind of tipped the scale. Like, you know what? This is a disaster of a season in every way possible. I'm coming back next year, and this will be it. And kind of making it like a swan song kind of thing next year. Like, look, this is it. He can have, the actual farewells with every team he plays against with the game. He gives his jersey away to one player on each team, and kind of like, and that's it. And they make more of like a kind of a courtship kind of thing.
Yeah, I do agree. I agree with that. Pat gonna win a comeback player of the year. Okay. MVP. Kelsey's gonna get all his accolades he needs. So definitely. I think he enjoys, Kansas City and stuff he does and what he brings to them. I think he enjoys it way too much.
100%.
He's just not ready. He's just not ready for that. And I'm telling you, if your mind's not necessarily ready, why do it? If you are willing to play another year and your mind's into it, your body's into it, you can get it done. You can get it done. So, okay.
So what grade are you going with?
Huh? So the grade of the tight ends, yeah. So with the tight ends, I gave him a C+.
Okay, yeah, I see mostly C's. I see a B+, B+. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Actually, I'm sorry. It was wide receivers.
Oh, okay.
B-.
B-. All right. All right. In the B
sorry,
ballpark.
Y'all know what I get to wide receivers now. So
spoiler, JD. Spoiler. I do gotta say I did love when we had Norzad come in, my fellow Persian come in, and him and Kelsey came in there and split that out, that defense wide open for Kareem to get the bust through for that first down. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to wide receivers, JD.
Well, y'all know what I gave the grade for him. C+. So I think part of it was, guys are getting open. I think the Worthy one stepping out of bounds and trying to get up the field, I think he was kind of just sleepwalking a little bit. Didn't seem like his head was all in the game as it should have been. Well, that's what happens when you run into football a little bit more. Like when you're used to like catching the ball, you running routes. But now you got to block most of the time, at least, for him when he was in there. But they made it, a couple of plays, but I think C+. I think at the end of the game, Hollywood Brown ran a great route. I know everybody talks about Tyquan Thornton. I know they do, and they should. Tyquan does a very good job. He can catch the ball deep. He runs some good routes. But he doesn't have a full route tree like Hollywood Brown. My guy this year that I've been most impressed with has been Hollywood Brown. It has been. I think Hollywood Brown is a consummate pro. He really is. He understands what it takes. He's been in the league. He's been the top guy, a couple of places. And all he wanted to do when he came here was he just wanted to reignite his career. That's all he wanted to do. And so I know he was part for that. But yeah. So C+. Hey, Marcus, let me take his call real quick. Okay.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. You got it. All right. So, yeah, I do agree with JD there. The Hollywood Brown has been one of the more, I would say, more in standout, impressive wide receivers. Obviously, Rashee Rice has the numbers. But I think right behind Rashee Rice, the Hollywood Brown has been probably the most consistent all season long. He's shown a lot of different, different types of catches, be long balls, back to the end zone, toe grabs. I mean, like the 1-2 foot he had, the touchdown he had against the Cowboys, back to the end zone. Just overall, so JD talks about route tree, and it's true. I mean, he's probably the most complete receiver we have, who can do it all. And I know he gets pigeon-toed as far as a pigeonhole being just a deep threat. No, he's a lot more than that. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him in the offseason. I saw, obviously, Pat trusted him. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him as far as contract-wise. If they bring back Tyquan's been amazing as far as being a deep threat guy. But do they want to bring in a receiver who just has that one thing? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Does Hollywood stick around for another 1-year deal? Another 1 year prove it? He's still a young guy, so maybe. But, yeah, I agree with JD, though. C+, man. Worthy was kind of disappointing this past game. He's been kind of disappointing all year. I know he's playing through injuries, so kudos to him for playing through the shoulder and the foot injury he's got going on. But I want to see a little bit more from Worthy this year. Needed to see Royals. I don't know. The guy starts the game. I think he ran one route in 5 snaps. I didn't really understand that at all. So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I love me some Hollywood this year and Taekwon. But yeah, like I said, going into next year, we only have 3 dudes on contract. We got there he is. Going to next year, we only have Worthy, Rice, and Royals. That's it. 3 guys under contract next year. So talk about change and rotation. It's going to be different. That wide receiver room is going to be very, very different. So expect potentially free agents or potentially get draftees and some rookies. So we'll see.
You got Worthy, Rice, Royals.
That's it.
Right. So I think if you, I don't know what, like I said, I didn't hear what you said about Hollywood. What would you say about Hollywood?
I said he was the most consistent receiver this year, and he was the most talented wide receiver that we have. I know stats will say Rashee Rice, put it on him as far as stat wise in the short games, the short amount of games he played this year. However, the guy who was there every game and looked the best every game, as far as back the end zone grabs, sideline grabs, just showing it all. I think Hollywood probably was the most impressive receiver this year. And I do think it's going to beg the conversation that we had during the season with Tasia. Do you keep the guy who's awesome at the deep ball, like Taekwon, who's showed he can do that? Or do you keep the guy who's been the most consistent and kind of can do it all? And I think at the state where our offense is, I don't think you go for that niche guy. I think you go for a guy who can do it all. And it's also going to see who's going to cost more money. Taekwon had a pretty good year. There might be some teams out there who want that deep ball guy. Maybe go get him. Or does Hollywood stick around for another 1-year prove-it deal? Did he do enough to get a longer-term deal? I don't know about that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I know he want to test the market and see what everybody's talking about. He still runs great routes. He does. He runs great routes. Got good hands. He's going to catch the football. You throw the ball to him.
For real.
And when you watch his route running, which I don't think people really was watching his route running as they should have been, but he understands how to give you like the head nod and all those, how to set a guy up to get open. That one at the very end of the game, if Chris lets this go early, it's a touchdown. It is. As soon as he comes out of his break, even before he comes out of his break, ball. And Hollywood's catching it in the end zone. Easy. So, and I get the Taekwon, the deep ball is sexy. That's a sexy ball. To catch that, a sexy ball. Everybody likes seeing that deep, the deep ball catches. But sometimes you just need a guy to maybe move the chains. They can get open. Now, where you put him at, You want to put Hollywood slot guy, put him in, different areas, who is a solid dude. I think even if you go get a guy, let's say in the draft, Marcus, and I would like another big body guy, a big body, strong dude to go catch him. Can we still go get Treylon Burks?
Hey, he looked pretty good with the Commanders this year.
He did. I was impressed. I was like, yo, you know what, Mark? And sometimes you just need it. Even just in a bad system down there, man. And with
his brother's actually in the draft.
Oh, really?
But his brother's not a big dude like him. He's like 5'10". His brother is.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Treylon stole all the Wheaties in the house. Yeah, his brother plays for Oklahoma, Deion Burks. But I will say this draft class,
yeah,
a lot of big dudes in this draft class. There's a lot of bigger receivers in this draft class. So if they do want to go that route, there's plenty of those 6'4", 6'5" big body guys they can go for in this draft.
There's some guys, man. I see some guys. And here, like you said, Marcus, well, Rice is going to be coming up, right? This contract going to be coming up. What do you do with that? You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I mean, and that again begs the question: when you come to that pick, that number 9, there's two. I would say the one I like the most is Ohio State's Carnell Tate.
He's good. I like him.
I like him a lot. There's also Tyson from Arizona State. It's another guy that they're saying could be a top 15 guy.
Yeah,
if I had my druthers, I would go Carnell Tate if he's there. There it goes again with the whole BPA. If you feel like that's the best dude in the draft, go get him. But if he's there, I say we talked about the other day. We don't really have a do-it-all receiver. We have guys who do different things. If Carnell Tate's there, I think it's a big argument to say go get him because, like you said, Brashard Rice comes up for contract in 2 years, and receivers they want that money.
What's that money? Hey, shoot, it is what it is, right? There's certain positions when it comes up to it, it's like I can't break the bank for you unless you are you killing guys. If you have 98 catches and 1,400 yards or something, and 10 touchdowns, okay, now they might warrant that. We got Jamar Chase numbers. Oh, okay, well, shoot. If you got that type of talent, yeah, okay, well, we might be able to find that type of money. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, 2 number 1s they got on their squad down in Dallas. And what I saw was a wide receiver, the caliber of CeeDee Lamb. They run great routes, great hands. I don't know. Some was when him in Philly, he was just dropping a lot of balls against Philly. That's where he dropped a lot of his balls. But other than that, that's sucker. He runs great routes. CeeDee Lamb's is one hell of a receiver.
Yes.
George Pickens, that opened up what they could do. Seriously. So do we look at our guys as Rice and Worthy as our number 1? Remember, we was having this conversation. I know Lance was sitting there saying that he felt like Rice was better than DK Metcalf.
I mean,
and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, hold on now. I'm like, hold on, okay.
They're both very similar. Rice and DK are similar in different ways, right?
Yes.
Where Rice, he's a quick screen guy, not much of a route tree, but like get the ball to him fast, he'll do his thing.
Yeah.
DK's kind of one-trick pony where it's a bomb or nothing with him. So, like, they're both one-trick ponies in their own respect. It's depending on what kind of offense you have to kind of facilitate their strengths.
Yeah. So that compliment, and you got Worthy, and Worthy could do more. We just got to have him doing more.
Yeah.
So
we see some games where Worthy has done a little bit more than just the gadget stuff too. So
absolutely. So we should be, incorporating more of those things on it. So yeah, with that being said, I gave it a C+. So yeah.
Do you want to address a comment? I've seen Todd Tolfrey say this multiple times. Just want to make sure this misinformation is cleared up. We have a 6'5" athletic baller named A.T. Perry on the practice squad. We can unlock with the right wide receiver coach. We do not have him on our practice squad. He's on the Denver Broncos practice squad. Just want to clear that up. I've seen you make the comment multiple times, Todd. We do not have him on our team. He's on the Broncos practice squad.
Who is this guy? Who is he? I don't even know who he is.
A.T. Perry, wide receiver. I believe he went to Wake Forest. He was a draft pick in last year's draft, 2024. Big dude. I mean, he's solid. I liked it coming out of the draft, but he's not on our practice squad. He's on the Denver Broncos practice squad. So yeah.
He was a draft pick?
He was a 6th-round pick by the Broncos. Or Saints, sorry. He was a 6th-round pick by the Saints. And he's been since picked up by the Broncos, and he's on the practice squad. Not our practice squad. Just want to clear that up for you, Todd.
I'm going to look at some of his highlights and see what he...
But there's guys who mimic what this guy does in this upcoming draft. So, and if you know, we can always claim him from their practice squad if we want to.
Okay. So he came out in the 2023 draft.
A couple of years ago, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I've seen him make the comment before, and Todd, I'm like, I wish he was on our practice squad. He's not on our practice squad though.
Yeah, he said you can't teach height. Shit.
Can't teach height.
Yeah, but that don't mean nothing.
No.
Catching. You can't catch in all those.
Yeah.
He don't look like he don't look like he got a lot of fast twitch in him though.
No, I believe that was why he was kind of a later pick.
Yeah, it's like a long strider.
Yeah. But he was solid in college though. You're good, Todd. You're good, Todd. I'm a big A.T. Perry fan. When I liked him coming out of college, that's why when I saw it, when you said he was on our practice squad, I was like, "Damn, he's not on our practice squad." I remembered that.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of 6'4", 6'5" guys coming in this draft. So if you're an A.T. Perry fan, Todd, you'll love this draft coming up here, buddy. All right, so we're gonna do our final offensive position group, quarterback. JD, how did you think our guy Chris Oladukin did this weekend?
You know what, man? I think Chris did a decent job. I was cheering for this guy. I was cheering for a man to go out there, man, and make some plays. And he made some plays with his legs. I think the only thing I had, he had taken like the one sack. I think he should have got rid of it, threw it to the front row in the stands. But what they gave him, I think he did a decent job. You know, I can't be mad at Chris for taking over the offense in 3 days and trying to make something happen and see what he can do. I think this week he's going to look a lot better. I think he's going to look a lot better. And so we'll see how he's going to look. But for his effort, for his manageability of what we gave him, I'm sitting somewhere with a C+, B- grade. I'm gonna give him a C+. I'm gonna give him a C+. I think Chris did a decent job, man. For what he was able to give, C+ for me.
Yeah, tough. 3 days going against one of the best pass rushers in the league. Tough. So yeah. I'll give him that C+, B-. Yeah. I hope they do longer time to kind of really soak in the offense. I do hope they kind of develop some packages where we kind of utilize his legs a little bit more. I feel like that was kind of a miss. We didn't really utilize his legs in that Broncos game. So maybe a longer week to kind of do something against the Raiders. Hopefully they utilize his legs a little bit.
Yeah. I think so.
All right. So now defensive side of things. Let's go to Spags. I think Spags whipped it up this week, JD.
I think Spags did a good job with the personnel that he had and who we felt like he needed to start and watching those guys go out there and go play. And everybody did a pretty decent job, man. Anytime you're holding Denver to that many points, I think Spags, I know they're talking about him, being on maybe the head coaching him for a couple of places. I don't know if Spags is ready to do that or not. I don't know if I think Spags home. I think, he has a good here. He enjoys it, what it is. But I think Spags, man, called a good game for guys to make plays. And guys was on him. I don't know if I was looking at that one where we left, I guess, Benjamin open in the middle. and I was trying to figure out what we were trying to do defensively. And I don't know if he was like, oh, he's not on his side. We pulled out. We only rushed 5. So that's 6 in coverage. But I don't know. I don't know if somebody should have been on the side or not. But either way, I think Spags did he did a decent job, man. I'm going to go with Deshaun, what he says, B-.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, there's a team, one of the better teams in the league, maybe the 1 seed in the AFC. And it Spags a pretty good performance, especially coming off what he did, what the offense looked like against us last week and against Tennessee. I think it was a special performance. As far as head coaching, I've seen the Giants potentially a team, going back to his roots as a team that could bring him on. I'm with you, JD. I think he is home, and I do think you're going to start to see a shift in these head coach searches where they kind of go away from the older guy and they go for more of the younger type dudes. They try to click with the players a little bit more, and we're already kind of seeing that trend now. It's mostly younger, like either innovative, like Ben Johnson, nerdy type guys, or former player guys like Aaron Glenn types, getting head coaching jobs. And I think that's where you're going to start to see it more. The trend, like Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn, and then you also have the nerdy, like smart guys like McDaniels and Ben Johnson. So I think players and younger guys is where it's trending now. And if it's not a former player, I think you're kind of seeing these guys. Most hirings kind of lean more towards the offense for being the head coach versus the defense.
Yeah. But I mean, hey,
it's a quarterback league now. You gotta go lean offense.
It is. What do you do with your shoot? You got to have a good defense to combat that.
Yeah. I mean, look, you watched that Bears and Niners game last night, and they had Ben Johnson, but who's coaching up that defense?
Oh yeah,
the 38-42. I mean, ridiculous. I mean, that was no defense whatsoever.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the game. I seen a little bit of the highlights here and there, but yeah, somebody told me. Matter of fact, we were finishing up some of the work out here, and when I heard the number, I was like, "Dad, God!" I'm like, ain't no defense whatsoever?
Nuts.
Like, what's going on? So,
Buddy Ryan's rolling in his grave right now, JD.
The Bears.
All right. So most people got B- and B for Spags, and I agree. All right. Defensive backs, JD. The storyline of this game was Noel Williams and Christian Fulton finally getting some burn and looking pretty dang good too. Yeah.
Both those guys, I think, played stellar. They really did. They, was pretty much kind of sticky all night. See Fulton right here, man. He was playing at his cleats right here. I mean, he was making leaps. He was taking some chances, opportunities, but he did a great job. Very promising seeing him play. And like I said, I think a lot of it had to go into what he said. I think he made his quote. He was talking about it was the first time he felt right, like in a game, like his body was okay. And that's why I was saying, Marcus, that's the reason we didn't see him, because you little nagging injuries and stuff like that. Like when you know that you're right or you're not okay, you just know it. And so for him, he just had to keep these little nicks here and there, kept pushing him back. Well, do we put him out there over guys that we know are, injury free, okay, can go all the way? Or do we put him out there who might be 75 to 85%, 85 to 90%? How you feeling, right? So the DBs, the corners did a great job. Safety wise, still a little struggle. I said, man, yeah, Chamari Connors, boy, they was picking on him. Yeah, and they know it. They know the matchup. They know where they're going to go to. And, man, missing open field tackling and, a couple guys got through him, kind of getting lost in coverage. That really hurt him as far as grade-wise. Safeties got to do a much better job. It was okay. Hicks, that was pretty decent, I think. And most of the stuff he did, he didn't really – with nothing too complicated for him, throwing him out there as far as anything he had to cover. Cook, too, kind of coming down. With that being said, I thinking everything, I'm going to give these guys a B-.
I'm right there with you, JD. I do think we have something in Fulton and Noel. Obviously, consistency in play, but to come and look like the way they did, that was two guys who like wanted it, right? Fulton has probably heard. I have to imagine he's probably heard all this scrutiny on the signing of him, all season from Chief fans saying it was terrible signing, all this stuff. He finally gets a full game where he can showcase himself, and he looks good. And we cut him, saves us $5 million in the offseason. I think this guy has something kind of prove, a little chip on his shoulder. And then Noah Williams just naturally plays with a chip on his shoulder. So I think you have two dudes that are scrappy guys and kind of lacks some of that scrappiness in the secondary department this whole season. So I loved what I saw from the secondary. Yeah, maybe I probably venture to say maybe B+ A- for the secondary, JD.
You said B+ A-?
Yeah. I really loved what I saw from Fulton. Maybe because my expectations for Fulton were low, and I saw him do what he did. It made me kind of like, you know what? And I saw Noel do his thing. I guess it all comes down to perspective and expectations. I was expecting kind of nothing, and they look good.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. No, I was promising to see that. I mean, I was expecting big things when he first got here, and a lot of it had to deal with him just being healthy, really. So, he's a baller, man. When I watched him playing, and I went through those games, I think I went through at least 6 or 7 of those games. I watched him.
Yeah, you did. We did a film study last year when we signed him.
Last year, yeah, we did. And I remember that I was like, yeah, he's pretty consistent. He comes down, he plays hard. He's got a lot of heart, and he's a talker. He's another thing.
Yeah,
he brings
scrappy.
it. Scrappy. Yeah, so I like it. I love it.
Yeah, he brings that kind of L'Jarius Sneed kind of scrappiness that we haven't had in the last 2 years. I'm not calling him Sneed by any means, but I'm just saying that scrappy, gritty kind of play.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Physicality. All right, let's go to linebackers, JD.
Bees. I tell you what, man. Nick Bolton was all over the field. And I was just watching him play. And every time I watch Nick Bolton make plays, I always ask my question, like, how do people not like this guy? How do they not like Nick Bolton? Like, he ain't the biggest linebacker, right? He ain't got the Fred Warner length, and how you not like him? I mean, he was a leading tackler at SEC for a reason. He finds the football, he makes plays, and he's all over the field. He is the general on defense. That's who Nick Bolton is. So he had a good game, a great game with that one little pick too, to get that Fulton, with the assist.
The alley-oop.
Beautiful, yeah. But that's who he is. That's who Nick is. He gets hurt, he goes out, he comes back in. McDonald coming in and playing. I was happy to see him out there on the field, man. I think he did a pretty decent job. I think we found one with him too. He's another guy I think deserves to be on this squad because of what he brings to the table. Just defensively, knows how to play, knows where he needs to be. He does a good job of special teams. Bossa came in, made a tackle. I didn't really get to see it before, and I was just like, oh, okay, there he is. And so I think we have a pretty decent young linebacker core. Drew Tranquil, all right. Just kind of, there's some things he overran and some things he's trying to go underneath. He's getting kind of blocked. Didn't make too much noise. But with the linebackers, that being said, Bolton and their play and the young guys coming in and contributing to what we did defensively, I'm going to give our linebackers, I'm going to give them a B.
B, yep. That's what everyone's saying in the chat. Linda, B. Andrea, B. Michael Kittle, B. Anna Brown says pass coverage. I think he's talking about why people say poor things about Nick Bolton is pass coverage.
Yep. Well, Amber Brown, same thing we talked about. Pass rush helps out a whole lot of that. That's the thing about it. And so if he's going to have to cover guys in the middle or certain things, then shoot, we don't want him doing that. if we know it's not necessarily a strength, he's all right. But he's a solid linebacker all day through and through. Now, here's the thing. If you given a tight end, any tight end worth their salt ought to be the linebacker anyway. You ought to be the middle linebacker. You should. I'm sorry. If I'm watching the tight end line up, you got this between you and the middle linebacker, you better win that battle. You better win. If not, you better come back and do some push-ups. Okay? That's the way it works. With that being said, I mean, I get that. I get what you're saying. Said Bolton makes tackles but gives up. I'll go back to that. Bolton makes tackles but gets to a receiver 1-2 steps after they catch for first down. Doesn't miss many tackles but can today's route runners. Yeah, I don't want him to. You know, that's why you have you want your nickel guy to come in and do those things, or you want somebody like a Drew Tranquil or maybe a Boss and those guys to be that guy. Bring Nick out on some of those plays. I thought we was going to see some of that, man. So, but with that being said, go ahead.
I was just saying, I was looking at his stats through the years. So this year he has 69 solo tackles with 1 game left to play. Just looking at his career best in 2022, he had 108 solo tackles. We're talking almost 40 more tackles 3 years ago than he did this year. Obviously, that was his career high. But like, what has changed? Last year he had 73 solo tackles. What has changed, do you think, schematically or just overall in his role from 2022 to now?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with who's in front of you. You know,
that's a good point.
Somebody don't get you to the next level. I mean, that's important. And so when I'm sitting there saying, now Chris is getting some time off. We're bringing Chris out of the game. Chris wasn't usually coming out of the game before all that. He'd be in all the time. Now Chris is going to need the break. Then we see Tillery and and all the other guys in there. That it changes things. That's very important. You ask any middle linebacker, any linebacker in the league, the guys up front in front of him matter tremendously on what they do. That helps you, get through lanes and all. I mean, that's how it's supposed to work. If you can't get to that at running back because you got a lineman in your face every single play, that's hard to do. It's tough. That is tough. Yeah. So he's had to fight a lot of that, man, this year and last year.
We were getting a lot of penetration that year, just overall. Just looking at from 2022 to this year, we have 55. We have 55 sacks regular season. We have 32 this year, so almost doubling sacks. So we were getting a lot of pressure to total wise. Jones had 15.5 sacks that year too. So just collectively, everyone was kind of eating.
Come on, man. It matters who's in front of you. And so you want those guys to be in front of you. You want them to be monsters to take off. Like, you got to take that double team so I could come off, man, and hit this lane. Man, and make these tackles. I can't have this big sucker 6'4", 350 pounds on me. Big bear mitts on. I can't get around that. So,
yeah. All right, so let's go to defensive line, our last position group for the defense.
D-line, I think the D-line did a decent job, actually, this game. They kind of got after Bo Nix. I could say he felt a little of something. I said Karlofsky's looked a lot better, man, standing up, rushing the passer, and have his hand in the dirt. Chris looked decent until you did the offsides on their, the fourth down, giving them the first down. That hurt. But I mean, guys were pushing out. These guys weren't giving up on the defensive line, and so I think they ought to be a pretty decent job. Ashton was coming off the ball. He was same thing, high motor guy. Nagging at him. I think they, like I said, I think they did a decent job, man. So with that being said, man, I'm giving the D line, man. I'm giving them a B-. D-line get a B- from me.
Yeah, I thought you saw a little more action and activity from the guys up front. So, yeah, I do agree. Obviously, we can't wait to see improvement on the defensive line this coming off season. But I liked what I saw this past week against the Broncos, which I think PFF-wise has the best across the board best ranked offensive line in the league. So,
say it again.
PFF ranks Denver's offensive line as one of the, I think, the best offensive line in the league from left to right.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, final group, our special teams. JD Harrison Butker, 100% on Christmas and made a 50-yarder. Could be his last 50-yarder in Arrowhead. We don't know. We'll see.
Special teams. So special teams, I said, man, all you have to do, man, is just you make sure you don't hurt us, right? What I have special teams. Special teams, got to get up the field, get us some field position. They did that. It was good. So I was pleased with special teams this week, which is a rare thing to say. It really is. But they did a good job. So with that being said, special team wise, we don't know Harrison Buckner what it's going to be. So I guess he heard my getting him a apron, fitting him for an apron comment. So he can take that.
Motivated him.
Yeah. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to give the special teams, I'm going to give them a B-.
B-. So we had Harrison make his kicks. We may have found a new punt returner going forward. So
actually, B. Let me give him a B. Shoot.
B.
No bias on that. Let me give them up jokers a B.
They deserve it.
Yeah, they deserve a B. They do. They deserve a B. Take it. I just scratch out my minus on this.
There you go. Well, that wraps us up for this Monday show. Thank you for tuning in to Monday Morning Tight End and Chief Concerns presented by FanDuel. JD, great episode, great grades. Only one more grade show for the 2025 year. And actually, this is technically our last grade show of 2025, but we have one more for the 2025 season coming up. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. JD, take us away, brother.
I appreciate you all coming out. I know we get out here, man, and start talking and doing our thing. Kept y'all here for 2 hours. 2 hours, you all. Goodness gracious. So I tell you, coming into the new year, we will not have as many shows to be in 2 hours. Okay. We're gonna try to give y'all the kit and caboodle, the meat and potatoes, succinctly, and make sure y'all have everything y'all need. But we appreciate it. Everything that y'all have done coming out here and supporting us. We want to thank you so much for all the things that y'all comments coming out here too. Y'all been awesome. Y'all been awesome. So with that being said, thank you all. Y'all take care of each other the way you're supposed to take care of them. Continue to pray for Jason Tarbox and his wife during this time. And, anybody else is dealing with whatever, hey, we're here to make sure that we're going to be here to support you. We're going to be on each other's shoulders. We're going to support one another the way we're supposed to. Thank you, Michael, by saying that also too. For Chad, keep him in your prayers, doing a great job. But Marcus, man, love you, my brother. All you people, guys and gals, thank you so much. Y'all are incredible. Y'all are awesome. And we absolutely love you guys. We do. Absolutely love you. And so it means a lot, man, when y'all come up, y'all come see us. So y'all take care. We will see y'all on Wednesday. I think, Marcus, right? Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday. I was actually going to talk to you. We want to do an earlier show Wednesday since it is going to be New Year's Eve that night, and I'll have to head out early, around like 8 or 7 on Wednesday. So could we do an early live show on Wednesday?
Yeah, maybe even earlier because we might have maybe.
Yeah, I'm down for an early afternoon, like a 1:00 show.
Yeah, maybe record something. I'm fine with that, man, because we're gonna be heading out of town too. So
okay, yeah. We can text about it and do it just a quick show.
Sounds good.
All right, brother.
All right, my brother. All right.
Good.
Ladies and gents, we will see y'all later. God bless. Take care. We'll holler at y'all on Wednesday. All right, Marcus. Love you.
See y'all. Love you too, buddy.
All right.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.